book. And who was King Solomon? King Solomon was the son of King David. King Solomon was known to be the Chacham Mikol Adam, the wisest man that ever lived. On Tweedledbug472's TikTok account and see what she has to say. Or you could open up the account of the wisest man that ever lived, Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon. I'll let you guys decide who you want to receive your data from today. I would advise you to listen to King Solomon. I think that would be wiser. This entire sefer, we're right at the beginning of it. Therefore, it's a great time to jump right in. This entire sefer means a book, this entire book is all about one thing and one thing only. Helping you go from being a fool to a wise man. That's it. That's the whole book. Ladas Chachma u'Musar. To make known to you how to be a Chacham, how to be a man of wisdom, Chachma, and Musar. What's Musar? How to actually then refine yourself, that you shouldn't just know what to do up here, but you should be living with it. The entire sefer is to help you going from being a fool, and a fool means somebody who listens to his evil inclination. What do you mean? Like the guy is a stock trader, he makes a ton of money, and the guy's got 4 yachts and fool if he listens to his evil inclination. We were talking earlier in one of the classes about the idea of letting your mind decide, and then your heart follows what your mind says. Because for the Jew, it's all about, you begin with your mind, with your brain, because your brain knows right from wrong. And then after you know what is right and what's wrong, then your heart gets excited about that which your brain told you is either right or wrong. So your mind leads and your heart follows. So somebody said, yo, you know what I'm into? I'm into the heart and then the mind. One of the comments on one of the classes. So we responded to them. We said, if that's the case, then you're being led by your evil inclination. If your heart is saying, yeah, binge on Netflix, and your brain is like, okay, guess that's, an intelligent thing to do. And that person is being led by his evil inclination. You want to hear one of the best ones somebody told me one time? He said, Rabbi, I think it's actually a mitzvah for me to play 7 hours of Fortnite a day. Because I read a study one time. I'm always like, oy vey. I read a study. Yeah. It says, I read a study one time. Trust the science. I read a study one time, and the study said that if you play 6 to 7 hours of video games a day, it's good for your hand-eye coordination. I heard that one too. And I might want to become a pilot one day, and therefore it's a mitzvah. Let's get Mr. Aguilar some chairs. No, chairs. We have an expression here, im yesh makom balev, if there's room in the heart. No, there's kavod. Please come in. We're so happy. Adarabah. It's wonderful. Sit, please. No. Come, sit. There's tons of space in here, tons of room. B'ezrat Hashem. So, that was what I heard from one of the guys. Do you think that guy is leading with his mind or leading with his heart? The Fortnite guy. Here's another one. I was at the gym today, so I see the guy eating 4 pints of Ben & Jerry's. So I'm like, yo, what's up with 4 pints of Ben & Jerry's? He's like, it's got protein. It's for the gains. You Baal Taiva. It's not for the gains. You just stam on ice cream. We have so many funny things that is coming from our heart. We convince ourselves that our brain told us that it's good. And we all have examples like this. So Shlomo HaMelech is telling us, this entire book is to take you from being a kesil, somebody who just runs his life from his heart, to somebody who lives his life with his moach, with his mind. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but if you have not, then this is always something important to point out. How do we... Sorry, we don't have... We'll do it over here. I'm so sorry. If we have... Oh, thank you. Just to make it more available for people to see. How do you say a head? So it's a rosh, but there's another name for a head. A moach. A moach. Okay? So moach. That means your brain, your moach. Then how do you say your heart?
Lev.
Lev. Okay, beautiful. Lev. And what is the part of your body that does stuff? Action. Is your hand. It's also called a kaf. Okay? It's called your kaf. If somebody starts his life with his moach, I lead with my brain. Is this good for me or not good for me?
Good for you.
I lead with my brain. Is this the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? Is it mutar or asur? Is 7 hours a fortnight a day good or not? So that's my moach. And then after I decide what is good, I dated the girl, we're going in the same direction, we have similar values, she wants to make a Jewish home. I worked through that it's the right thing to do. By the way, that's one of the reasons why before marriage, should you touch?
No.
Not a good idea. Why not? Because after you touch, Rabbi, she's so good for me. You don't understand? Like, we're mamish made in a head. It's amazing. How long have you known her? Like 2 or 3 nights. But no, you don't understand. It's mom. You touched her. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I know that she's, like, I know. Are you really going in the same direction? I'm just telling you, Rabbi, I know it's good. Once it starts from here, things get problematic. So once you know, this is the one that I want to marry, because I see that she has good values. I see that she's going the same direction as me. I see that everything's lining up. We've been spending time together. I made a decision with my brain. After that, you think you're going to get married and just have a cold experience? No, you're filled with passion for her. You start with your moach, and then you go to your lev, and then your kaf is, you say harayat mekudeshet li. That's action. What are you? Mem lamed chaf. You're a melech. You're a king. Somebody who leads with his brain, he's a king. Somebody who leads with his actions. And then, his legs, this is good, This is called, he's leading with his actions. Whoa! And then he convinces them, it's probably, mitzvah, it's mitzvah somehow. So what does he have? What's the opposite of melech? Klum. Is nothing. Nobody. He's a nobody. Rabbi said, be a melech. You know who's going to teach us how to be a melech? Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech. This whole sefer is how to be a melech. That's the whole sefer of Mishlei, is how to be a melech. I have to tell you something that's more of a Kabbalistic idea, because the Vilna Gaon says it. And anybody knows who learns Mishlei, that Mishlei is very much connected with the idea of the Vilna Gaon. He says something very important. He says there's 4 parts of the human experience. It's a little bit Kabbalistic, so you just hold on to your tzitzit, because we have to now think a bit. There's 4 parts of human existence. There's something called the chomer. Chomer means just substance, just a substance. Then there's something called the poel, who's the person that acts upon a substance. So let's use for an example, somebody wants to make a cup out of silver. So he wants to make a cup out of silver, a kiddush cup out of silver. So what's the chomer that he's dealing with? The chomer that he's dealing with is the silver. He has a block of silver. The poel is the guy. So he sees the silver, and he's the guy. He looks at the silver. So what does he want to do? He wants to make tsura. What's tsura? He wants to form the silver into a cup. Okay? So we have silver, the guy, and we now have that he wants to form it. Why does he want to form it? Because there's something called tachlis, purpose. He has the purpose of making a kiddush cup. He has the purpose of making business. He has the purpose of selling it. Everything in this world is these four elements. Everything. The whole world is divided into these four Kabbalistic states of being. There's chomer. So what's the chomer of this? This is wood. Okay, what happened? There was a poel, there was a person that said, I need to take chomer and I have to make tsura. What's the tsura? A stender. Why do I need a stender? To steig. What do you mean? Why do I need to steig? What do you think this is here for? So that we can get involved, Rabbi said. That's the whole purpose. That's the tachlis. So the man has to always have the poel, the tachlis in mind. Anything you do, any time that you're doing anything, you have to realize there's these four states of being. There's the chomer, raw material, the poel, the person that's acting upon it. There's the tsura he's trying to form. For what tachlis? So always think about that. Whether you're playing on your phone, there's the chomer, there's the phone the way it is. There's you, the poel, I'm acting on it. Before getting to jobs, of making it. What's the tsura? What am I trying to do on this thing? What am I doing? What's the tachlis? Why am I on this thing? For what? Has to be a tachlis to know to know nothing about a lot of stuff.
To deal with your boredom.
To deal with your boredom. Maybe that's your tachlis.
To brainwash you.
Okay, so you have to think to yourself, why am I living like that? Listen to what Mishlei is. Mishlei is the following. What's the substance? The substance is taken by the agent, the poel, to form it for purpose. So in Mishlei, what's the substance? What's the substance of this book? The substance of this book is the analogies. There's a lot of substance here. This is filled with analogies. That's the chomer. That's like the raw material. I'm giving you analogies. Who's the person? Shlomo HaMelech is the person. He's taking the analogies. That's like the chomer. Shlomo HaMelech is taking the analogies, the substance. What's the tsura? What is he forming it into? He's forming it into something to teach us wisdom. For what purpose? What's the purpose? The purpose is that we should have Musar and we should change ourselves. We're the purpose. He wrote this that you and I, like they say when you go on the Getchkala, say, who's the product? Is you. You're the product. You're the product. So Shlomo HaMelech is saying that you are the product, but the product is that you should change your life and become a more understanding, a wise person. This whole book is to take people from being a fool to being wise. And he uses all the mishlei, all the mashalim, to teach us how to do that. So we're literally at the beginning. This has all been introductions and seeing what the purpose of this book is. And I feel that it's very, very important in yeshiva for us to learn that we should grow in this area, B'ezrat Hashem. So let's now go into the next section of Mishlei in a few minutes that we have left. I always suggest, guys, to bring your Mishlei that you could see the psukim inside. It'll do you well seeing the Hebrew words as we explain them. And like we mentioned, every day is its own day because it's a new download that we're getting from Shlomo HaMelech. So look at pasuk number 3. Lokachas musar haskel that the purpose is lakachas, that we should accept Musar Haskel. What is Musar Haskel? What's Musar? Character development. But what's Musar Haskel? Like Musar that has seichel, that has some wisdom to it. What's Musar Haskel?
Educational, elevated.
So we explained earlier that Musar means to make a person change. Musar Haskel is that you should be able to change in an intelligent way. If you take some, skinny guy into the gym, I don't mean skinny like in a derogatory, just like, some little guy into the gym, and you put on 3 of the big plates, and you say, yeah, start benching. I want you to get buff. Is that Musar Haskel? Might be Musar. It's not Musar Haskel. The guy's gonna forget about it. You have to give him the little weights. You have to get him in a system where he could grow in an appropriate way. So too it comes with all of our spiritual growth. The Musar has to be in a way that is sensible. So Shlomo HaMelech says, I'm going to guide you through that. That you don't take on too much too quick, but you also don't not take on what you should be taking on. Person has to realize that there are responsibilities that I have to start taking on. That's Musar Haskel. What else am I going to give you in this book? I'm going to give you Tzedek. What is Tzedek? That you should be righteous. That part of the tachlis is that you should become a righteous person. Tzedek. And then I want to give you something else. Umishpat. I want you to have mishpat. I want you to be a just person. Misharim. Misharim is like from the word yashar. I want you to be straight. I want you to be fair. I want you to be somebody that's able to understand how to be just, how to be fair when you deal with other people and when you deal with yourself. Sometimes a person is too hard on himself. Sometimes a person is not hard enough on himself. We have to know the right balance. How can I be mature enough to be able to take the Musar Haskel, to be able to be righteous, to be straight, to be just with myself? A lot of what this book is going to do for us, it's hard even to call it a book, a sefer, this holy sefer written with Ruach HaKodesh, is going to teach us how to get our life together. And every day we're going to be developing the approach of getting our life together. Says the next pasuk, Laseis lifisoyim arma. Interesting. He says, I want to give to those that are a pesi. Remember we talked about a pesi? Who is the pesi? We said that there were 3 terms that we're going to be going over in the Sefer that were not so complimentary. I don't want to use derogatory language, but the pesi is somebody who does not have wisdom. So what did we say about the pesi? If he doesn't have any wisdom, my father would always say, and I think it's quoting somebody else, but he would always say this, if you don't stand for something, you're bound to fall for anything. So if somebody does not have chokhmah, he doesn't stand for something, what does he do? Oh, I better buy that thing. Whatever they tell me to do, I guess I'll do, because I don't know who I am. Without chokhmah, how do you know anything? And where does the chokhmah come from? From Hashem. Remember, the whole sefer is Mishlei of Shlomo HaMelech. These are the Mishlei, Ben David, Melech Yisrael, Lodas Chokhmah. It's here to teach us Chokhmah. If I don't have Chokhmah, I'm a sitting duck. I think they call it cognitive bias or cognitive dissonance, which means if my whole psychology, my whole worldview is just based on whatever a bunch of influencers told me to do, then who am I? Do I even have an identity? What do they call those guys in the memes that are the gray face guys with like that funny nose and the 2 dots for the eyes? Those are the NPCs. I'm just the NPC in this world. Who wants to be an NPC? The problem is, if you didn't know otherwise, what's that movie where the guy pops out being an NPC?
Free will.
It's called Free Will.
No, not free will. Free game.
Free game?
Free guy.
Free guy? Free guy?
Something like that.
Free guy.
He starts as an NPC and then he pops out of the NPC.
Yeah.
The problem is, they told me the end of the story is he goes to like an island and he just like parties it up on an island, which in my opinion is another level of NPC. The mom is baiting you boys. The deeper NPC is the one that thinks that he's not an NPC, he's just on a higher level of NPC, you know what I'm saying?
Because really he's just an actor in a movie. He's just playing out the role he was
Exactly,
given.
mamish. We're talking about literally popping you out of NPC mode. Mamish. How do you do that? Only with chokhmah, because the Pesi is somebody that has no chokhmah, so he falls for whatever they're telling me to believe in. The Torah is literally trying to give you wisdom from the infinite creator, sustainer of heaven and earth, to empower your neshama to navigate this world. Through Shlomo HaMelech, who was the wisest person that ever lived. So you could listen to Tweetabug 472's approach to life on her TikTok page, or you could come and listen to Shlomo HaMelech. So here, what are we doing here? Laseis lipsayim arama. Now it's interesting. Arma is a bit of an interesting term. An arma, what's an arma? Arma, arum, means somebody. That's right. So, our arma, who is called the first arum in the Torah? The Nachash. The Nachash is called the arum. So we know that arum means that, but it also means like clever. Is that a Pesi who has nothing, he falls for anything. We want to give the Pesi some cleverness, that when he sees them trying to sell him something, and he really believes when he buys the Chevy pickup that there's going to be a girl that's just going to jump into the back of the pickup when he's driving off the lot, because it said that in the commercial. And he drives out, he's like, where's the girl at? You really thought that? I don't know, sort of. The Pesi literally, whether he's aware of it or subconsciously, is buying that narrative to give the Pesi some cleverness. Because you got to be very clever to be able to not be taken by the ploys of this world, of the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is very cunning. The snake is called the most cunning. So says Shlomo, I want that the laseis lipsayim, those that have no chokhmah, I want to give them arma, I want to give them cleverness, lanar, and a youth. It's interesting. What's a nar? Somebody who's young. A nar, what does he want to give? Das umezima. Knowledge and design. I want to give the nar das. We're going to speak more about what this all means. What does it mean the nar is going to get das umezima? That there's something about the nar that otherwise would not have das. Das means connection. And mizima, some ability to design things and vision. Most kids, you ask them, what do you want to do? I don't know, really, not I want to be a fireman, do you have a plan to be a fireman? It's so amazing, Why do we go to college? I feel like a little bit I was from the old generation when university and college still had, it's like the end of the 60s, the hippies that were looking for something. People went there to learn about life and to think and to ask questions. University became more of a thing, not teaching you how to think, but what to think. Yeshiva is here to teach you how to think. So many youth, they don't know how to think and design a future. So Shlomo Melech says, I want to give even the youth a way of designing having a vision for the future. So Bezrat Hashem, my friends, we're afoot. We're in Mishlei together. This will be a journey that we'll be on. I suggest have your own Mishlei. You can get an English version if you want. Art Scroll has an amazing version. A big shout out to Mendel for one of our students made this for me. It's so nice of him. You don't have to get one like this. This is like the, this is like the Rolls Royce edition. But I mean, it just matches what's on the inside. The inside is the real Rolls Royce, but the outside also matches it. But you can get mamish, just regular Hebrew with English, with commentaries, and we're going to be going through this together. This is a project. When we do projects in this class, they take us time. The last project we did, which was the Rambam's 13 Principles of Core Jewish Belief, it took us about 1.5 years to go through, and there were those that spent from the beginning till the end, and we went mamish through. Yossel's one of the soldiers. We went through the Rambam's 13 Principles. We did the Tanya before that. We've done a number of projects together. This is going to be a project that's going to take us some time. We're going to be in the world of Mishlei for a while, with the Vilna Gaon, with all the commentaries, and we invite everyone to go on this journey with us. May we be zocheh, Bezrat Hashem, that we should have the great merit of not being fools anymore, of being wise, of being kings, my friend. Starting with our moach, into our leiv, into our kaf, that Bezrat Hashem, that if we are acting like kings, that once and for all we'll have Melech, Malach, Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu return to the Binyan Beis HaMikdash with Mashiach, Melech HaMashiach, should come speedily in our days, and all of our friends and family, Bezrat Hashem, will come back to Yerushalayim, Yer HaKodesh, B'mheira v'yemena, Amen v'Amen. Have a wonderful day. Hatzlacha Rabba, Kol Tov. Chazak u'Baruch.